Squirm Squad, deploy for part 3.
Locked and loaded and ready to go.
Can I use the toilet?
No.
Dude, you're not
Where
allowed. Come on, man.
Where we're going, we don't need toilets, soldier.
The suit was made specifically so we can, with a deposit so we can urinate in it. So urinate in it, goddammit.
Maybe it's like in Dune, where we recycle body waste.
But guys, it smells. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure there's still some piss from the last guy that was in this suit.
Well, that's why there's supposed to be a filtration system.
Oh.
Yeah, but of course, my bro.
Really? We're trying to build tension, horror tension.
Well, that was actually one of the elements of the original trilogy too. And again, another thing that the Coalition took away from the modern games.
That is not that. Sorry, go on.
So what's this comic page unlocks thing?
Oh, right, that's right. But you were BRB while Pedro explained.
Oh, right, it was.
Long story short, the collectibles, we unlock a comic book tie-in that explains a minor plot point that happens later in the story of the game.
Because later on we're going to learn that the major important device that we're going to need to defeat the locusts was made by Marcus's dad, who was a scientist studying the locusts. However, we're going to learn that if we read the tie-in comic that's included in the extras. The problem is, you have to collect all the cogs that are somewhere in the game's world in order to unlock all the pages.
But no, what I was saying is I get the intention that the game is trying to have in order to, but it's kind of hard to build tension and horror when you're having a character build and a genre dedicated to action. Ironically enough, it's kind of like in Resident Evil 5 and 6, conservation of ammo and the actual state of your characters is irrelevant because they're perfectly equipped for the job and they can easily slay hordes of enemies no matter where they come from.
It's not so much about that too. It's because Jack, our robot buddy, is opening the door, so we have to protect him from the locust. It's more so also about selling the dreary atmosphere of the world too.
Oop.
Okay, so what's our progress so far?
Well, we've killed a lot of locusts.
That must count for something.
Yes, very good.
That's what we're good. That's what dude bros do. That's what we're good at: killing people.
So if I understand correctly,
well, if we're such dude bros, can you at least get me a suit that bloody works?
Seriously.
You see, Dwebs, this is why you can't. This is why you should never have been a dude bro. Your British accent ruins the dude bro-ness. You're supposed to have more of an American accent.
But British accents are a great symbol of authority.
They are not here. We need something a bit more Americanish.
With that example, no wonder half the soldiers are dead.
But if I understood correctly,
the Hammer of Dawn is a specific weapon that basically there's this satellite going around that the force that we belong to has, where it fires this big laser. So basically, if you find an enemy that, like a giant plant, like we're about to meet right now, point the Hammer of Dawn to it, which is basically this little tracking laser, so that the satellite will throw this big giant sky laser and destroy the giant enemy. Go ahead.
But otherwise, I understand correctly, you have like for your weapon system, you have your gun, grenades, and 2 rifle-like weapons that you can interchange.
Yes, you can have a total of 4 weapons.
Okay.
However, one of them is always the grenades. Okay, so basically that's that plant over there, that giant plant, is the locust cedar. As the name probably implies, it sprouts out locusts. So it's like so think of it a queen bee equivalent, I guess. There you go. We have to deal with the remaining children.
Actually, I haven't checked that cube told me what I wanted to remember. Actually, I haven't checked who's the composer of this game. Let me check.
What have I missed?
The score so far seems to be interesting. Not super memorable, but means interesting. Anyway, Jova, basically, we're using a satellite laser to kill a plant.
Anyway, yeah, I agree. The score here is definitely interesting. It's not the best of the Gears of War franchises. I'd say 2 and 3 offer quite more spectacular scores, but this one's a pretty good starter.
Kevin Ripple. I'm gonna check what he's done.
Interesting name, eh?
Oh, here we go. I'm checking right now. The actual real creator, the actual creative mind behind the Gears of War franchise is Cliff Bleszinski.
Bleszinski. Yeah, I heard that name already.
That name before.
Hold on, let me check.
He was the guy who made Assassin's Creed 2, apparently.
Oh.
So he basically dropped Epic Games and went on to Ubisoft.
I guess he foresaw the future of what Epic Games would
yeah,
become.
Never mind. I've mistook for another one. No, basically, he's the creator of Unreal and Unreal Tournament. Okay. So basically, he was an Epic game.
Oh yes, yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's. He works also on. Wait, he worked on Jackrabbit 1 and 2.
Wow.
Oh, actually, yeah. Actually, now I remember. This guy made a complete mockery of himself recently. First with Lawbreakers, and then with a F2P game that went over called Radical Heights. Yeah. Basically, unfortunately, this guy had an interesting career at starting, but then he degenerated quickly.
Yeah, basically, Cliff Bleszinski was the designer and director of the Gears of War, the first 3.
Anyway, I'm checking instead. Kevin Ripple, the first, I'm sorry, his first major composition was surprisingly Twisted Metal Black, but he did for a lot of things, not just Gears, but stuff like Pitfall: The Lost Expedition, the Bible game. Okay. Crackdown 2, so I guess he worked a lot. Aliens, Colonial Marines, poor bastard. Nosgoth, oof. More recently Rocket League. That's more nice.
What a mixed resume.
But he composed also for some movies, though I'm not... Oh, he was the composer for Cabin Fever, Patient Zero. Ooh, terrible. Also, apparently, for some of the Batman Unlimited movies. I'm actually all 3 of them. And the Batman vs. Ninja... Yeah, the most recent movie score was for 2019 for Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Cute.
Well, that was a good movie.
Yeah, as for writing, in terms of what I'm seeing here, yeah, both this game and the third game had multiple writers, the common one being Eric Newland, I think that's how you pronounce this?
Newland.
Newland. And the second game was written by Joshua Ortega, an actual...
He also, apparently he also wrote for a couple of the Halo games.
Yeah. So basically, Teo, I think it's pretty, it's starting to become obvious after Gears 4 and 5 that Rod Ferguson was just the boss going on, whereas these guys were the actual creators behind the success of the original trilogy.
So typical producer.
I've had only one writer, Tom Bissell. I don't know actually what else he did.
Well,
yes.
Rod Ferguson, from what I can tell. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, Java?
Wait, was I saying something?
I thought you were going to say something.
Oh,
yeah.
right, yeah,
Sorry,
I was gonna say. So it's definitely not a case of too many cooks in the kitchen with that one, then.
Yeah.
No, it boils down to this, Joe.
But yeah, what I was about to say, it's like, oh, sorry. I was gonna say, it's like, well, it sounds like that the relationship with the producer was sort of the typical bout of relationship with a producer. Like, that's not to say that there aren't producers that, you know, do heavy lifting, but more often than not, a producer is mainly the boss who provides the funds and all that.
Yeah, basically, it really is one of those cases where Ferguson was only one of many cogs.
Don't you mean one of many gears?
Well, okay, fine if you want.
Hang on a minute, guys. I think there's been a mistake.
What?
What?
Did you say dude, bro, earlier?
Yes.
I thought I was signing up for the two-throw, as in the sports team, where you have to throw two items.
I actually thought the punchline this was variated to be a British term like lad, bro. Or mate, bro.
I thought you said two-throw.
Yeah, sure.
Well, sorry, soldier, you've signed up for the army.
No, I didn't. I signed up for throwing things.
Also, Java, what you said about the producer essentially being the figure that gives most of the money, it is kind of true. Just remember, the Automata existed as a budget only because apparently the Dragon Quest XI producer decided to pester Square Enix enough.
Come on, Dwebs. Come on, Dwebs. If we're going to defeat the Locusts, you gotta add more dude bro-like.
But how?
You need some protein, dude.
First thing you need to do your voice, and then you need to throw.
These locals love to jump on like goggles.
Come on, dude. We can't have a British-sounding dude, bro. What's next? A girl, bro?
Marriage the thought.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't that be girl sis more accurately?
Actually,
it doesn't roll off the tongue as well.
You know, TV tropes actually TV tropes does actually have a term for this sort of dude, bro, girl. It's called the dudette.
Oh, the dudette. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm seeing here, Roderick Ferguson's career. He started his career in 1996 at Microsoft, providing technical support to enterprise. One of the first projects he worked on was Microsoft Train Simulator.
Aww, that ever lovely classic. I remember playing that as a kid.
In July 2005, he joined Epic Games and he served as the executive producer and then director of production, participating in the entire SCWRM series. In 2012, Ferguson announced his departure from Epic and joined Irrational Games.
Yeah, I actually remember that. I heard of that at the very least, but I think I actually played something from them.
During the final stretch of development of Bioshock Infinite. Okay,
so they're the Bioshock developers, yeah.
As executive vice president of development. On 2013, Ferguson confirmed that he would leave Irrational Games, and then in 2014, when Microsoft purchased Gears of War franchise and they founded the Coalition, they hired Rod Ferguson to serve as the head of the studio. Since so basically he was unemployed. And Microsoft was like, oh, okay, he was the producer of the original trilogy. We'll just have him head the studio then. So they didn't even headhunt him. He was just unemployed at the time.
Easiest headhunt we ever had.
Apparently, yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. It really is a shame. Oh well.
It just goes to show, sometimes the best heroes are those who have the most tragic of careers. Especially since now Ron Ferguson is the head of the train that gave us Gears of War 5, which is getting slaughtered by fans and critics alike.
Not to mention, it was also the fact that, hold on.
Well, it's not about critics. The critics actually really loved the game. It's more so the fact that the hardcore fans didn't like it. Again, they still don't like the fact that they keep shoving Kate in their faces. They still don't like it. That the dreary atmosphere of the original trilogy was replaced with a more colorful world.
That's weird. I thought Gears of War 5 was getting mixed reviews. Maybe I'm misremembering or mixing that with another game.
I don't know, Joe, an 86 on... Already, I forgot
oh, okay. Less than Rotten Tomatoes, I think. I tend to not really care about Metacritic scores, positive or negative they may be, because due to how they broaden up their type of voting, they can be extremely polarized in one way or another at the bat of an eye. So
I think the best site to use would be OpenCritic, which sort of does a more in-depth look at the reviews. I think a problem with a lot of gaming reviews is like, well, they could be incredibly scathing, yet they'll bafflingly give a good number review to it for some reason. Like, they'll basically give a number of review that doesn't match up to the tone of the actual context of the review.
But comparing other sources, Pedro is still right. Our good old pals at IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. Gaming Informer gave it a 9.5 out of 10. Eurogamer gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and so on.
Yeah, the critics in particular really love. Like, for example, Joe, I'll check this out. I think it's in the Washington Post, if I remember correctly. Basically, Joe, but there's an article on the Washington Post. Or was it? Or was it Forbes? Oh, no, it was Forbes. There's an article at Forbes, Jova, about Gears 5 specifically saying Gears 5 has a woman in the front with a gun. That's brave. Are you familiar with how many works we've had that do?
I know, right?
We're using the knuckle. It's interesting. Like this requires the knuckles argument. Every time you brought that up, you're automatically demeaning the factor itself.
Yeah.
It's like what Philip said. Woke culture is getting out of control. Seriously.
Tell me about it. Look no further than stuff like Terminator Dark Fate to realize that.
I just need to say that, Jova, because guess who are DLC skins in Gears 5?
Yeah, I know,
Arnold
with the
Schwarzenegger, the
the shitty Terminator from Dark Fate and Grace.
Oh,
basically,
and old Sarah Connor.
Basically, Paramount is having some contract with some games to have stuff from Terminator franchise to have cameos in, like in Mortal Kombat 11, when we have instead, Arnie's T800 appearing there as playable.
It's only as multiplayer characters; they're not part of the game.
Basically, schemes for multiplayer.
You also like this, Dwebs. Guess who's also another DLC celebrity in Gears 5? Batista.
Batista.
Why?
Okay.
Well, have you looked at Batista? He's exactly the kind of
True, but that alone. No. Oh, okay, that extraction point. No, but
extraction point.
Okay, but that should work. I guess it works better if there is like a group of these people. So it's not like just Batista, but like someone that is more associated with him in the wrestling world. I mean, the irony of that. It's similar to how that Tomb Raider Diablo clone game had for character skin stuff, people like the main Raziel and the other character from Legacy of Kain, or Kane and Lynch from Kane and Lynch, because in that sense the mechanic works not just with one character. Oh, he looks like that, but instead having two battle each other or something.
I'm actually gonna see how much the Terminator character skins.
Oh boy. Hey Tio, it's funny you mentioned extraction point.
Pedro, no matter how much it costs, it won't be enough to recoup the cost of the movie.
No, they do it like the old style. They slap on a free discount dollar coupon for going to see the movie.
Please see the movie. I'll put it.
It's like with the Battleship video game, where the American copies all that printed on the cover, not even like a sticker, have that like $5 coupon if you went to see the movie in theaters.
I miss those days. Anyway, too, it's funny you mentioned an extraction point.
Yeah.
We have a few muscle-bounded hunks trying to get to their extraction point.
Sorry, Java, no pieces of tofu. It's not like that.
Alas. You okay, Pedro?
He's searching how much the Terminator skin costs, as he said.
That. I gotta say...
I'm actually curious myself.
Terminator...
Here we go.
Oh, go on.
I just found it. Oh, hold on. They're individual. Got it.
Yes, they're individual.
I mean, yeah. Well, I guess they don't even they have the option where we sold singularly or with a package.
Here you go. Basically, Jova. There's two Terminator Dark Fate packs. One with Sarah Connor and the T800, and one with Grace and the Rev 9. So there you go, Jova. You can take you can take Gears Wook and make it, and for the cost of $18, you can make it even more woke.
Well, to be fair, like you said, there are two singular packs, so they cost 18 each or just 9 each?
18 each too.
Oh.
Trust me. For those who are not familiar with the microtransactions of Gears 5, everybody, I recommend this channel called Shepherd Gaming. He's a big Gears fan. And he has a series of videos where he explains in a very, very well done and very constructive way of talking about why the microtransactions of Gears 5 and as well as any other.
Well, I guess for these kind of skins, they're just sold as this, DLC instead of having loot boxes containing a chance of winning those.
That's the thing too. The iron currency, that's where the problem stands. But
no,
again,
I don't mean that. I mean that if the piece of DLC is actually sold at you instead of having you the opportunity of winning it doing in the loot box part, I'm not sure if it values as microtransaction for a skin, instead of just being a simple piece of DLC.
That's fine too, but $18 for 2 skins?
Yeah, that is way too much.
I'm not arguing the price. I'm just arguing the naming of the product.
Okay. I get what Tio means. Yes, it's overpriced, but what Tio means is like, well, if it's not sold in the loot box, then technically
alternate
it's
costumes
DLC.
for the CDNT are being sold for I think $10 each or something. But those are not microtransactions. They're just pieces of DLC. It's just them going on understanding, as usual, how DLC works.
So if I understand correctly, Pedro, it's the iron currency that's tied to the loot boxes.
Yes, the iron currency is the currency that you buy with real money that allows you to avoid all the grinding that you need to in order to get specific rewards.
Oh yeah, that's a microtransaction, alright.
I guess a better microtransaction would be something that instead of just being cosmetic, it's something that helps you, win the game faster. Sorry, hold on. Similar to the coins, with the coinage system that Pedro showcased in Rise of Rome, that is properly a microtransaction. It's only boosting up your character maximum at the beginning, just for you paying real money instead of actually progressing the game.
In terms of something that helps you, they have to be extra careful, especially since EA crocked the pot on that stuff. Basically, if it becomes something that actually gives you an advantage, that's when it becomes outright gambling.
And the UK government. Right now we're still doing the election stuff, but right now the UK government.
That is actually should be just cheating. Gambling should be more like the fact that it abuses the system of loot boxes, no?
Well, that's the thing, though, Miko. If people are loot boxing for something that gives them an advantage, it's kind of the equivalent of gambling.
Definitely. What I mean is the fact that remember. The microtransaction is defined by being a piece of DLC that is actually sold to you with real money instead of being a probability of finding it in a box and you pay actually real money to have multiple tries. That is a difference.
Basically, Tio, the definition of microtransaction spreads to anything that involves a small payment, be it loot boxes or something that speeds up something. What separates that from DLC is like, well, DLC is the actual product right there and then.
That's what I was saying, Jova. Don't have to tell me that.
Yeah. The main issue with the DLC is that it's overpriced. Because I'm seeing here there's this pack of weapons and it's again $17.99. Gee Christ.
Yeah.
That's literally a quarter of the full game's price.
And for just skins, like not even new fleshed out characters.
Well, in this case, weapons, which in this case may actually have the potential of giving you the advantage. So...
and even if that's not a loot box stuff, that's still pretty bad.
Actually, I'm curious. What's the more costly thing?
Iron. You can buy like a shit ton of iron for $50.
Jeez.
Anyway. You think that's fucked up, Tail? Here's the worst part. For those who are not aware, in the multiplayer of Gears of War, because one of the more popular things about Gears of War as well, aside from the campaign, is the multiplayer. The multiplayer has always been one of the very life and blood of this series. And one particular popular thing among fans is the curb stomp animation. What is that? Basically, whenever you kill an opponent, you have an option to curb stomp him, and by literally stomping his head and seeing his head explode by stepping on it. So it was a free thing that you always had in the original trilogy. In Gears 5, you have to pay $5 to get the animation.
And
similar to what Joe was mentioning, I think of commentary, it's like the tuxedo costume in MGS5.
Yeah, that's just like okay. So
except this is arguably even worse. Like that's a costume. This is just an animation. Like, dude, what the hell?
Microsoft
it's literally
Microsoft wants to nickel and dime you for every cent you have, Joe.
It's literally one step from selling you the a dab animation for a character.
Oh god, you know that's what's eventually gonna happen.
Reminder that Doom 2016 actually had that in its emotes from the get-go. Never had at least like.
Again, it's for reasons like this that Microsoft is regarded as the EA of console making.
Yep. If they keep up EAing stuff, they're gonna lose what audience they have left. Anyway, back to what's going on in the game.
Hey, Dom.
Okay.
Dom, get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
You're trying to get killed.
Dom,
You're trying to get
get out
killed.
the way.
You're blocking the shot, Dom. Come on. You can't get in the way of progress here.
Dude, I know the situation's bleak, but you don't have to step in the way of our weapon.
Alright. And now we're inside a church, I think?
Well, we have been for a while, actually.
Yeah.
What looks to be the
Oh, look at that, the giant gear like this.
Does friendly fire exist?
Hey, look, guys, there's a gear to the right.
Yeah. The symbolism in this game is so on the nose.
So there's no, Pedro, there's no friendly fire in this game?
No, no, there isn't.
They just have, Marcus said, you're blocking my shots.
It's the opposite of War for Cybertron.
I guess it's kind of like in Star Fox. Yeah, kind of like it's like in Star Fox where Falco says, "Hey, Einstein, I'm on your side."
Oh, so in that game, Optimus Prime can kill Bumble.
Oh no! Basically, just what I mean is like, there's no friendly fire during the main campaign of it either. What does happen is that if you shoot a character, they'll comment on you saying, "What the hell, this or that." It won't kill them, but they will comment on the fact that you did hit them.
Because what I do like to do sometimes in the Star Wars Battlefront 2 or the PS2 is that if an enemy got in my way, I just like kill them for getting in my way.
Wow.
You're in my way, sir.
I charge them with indirect treason. By indirect treason,
now
I mean
we've arrived at
that whole
table?
Not just that, that map from the Star Wars movies.
It was either I did that or I just knocked them out of the way.
And now Pierce Brosnan and his Knights of the Round Table are gonna start coming in singing.
Beautiful.
Oh, God, no. No Pierce Brosnan singing, please.
No, please, no.
You know, maybe that was what Mars Attacks was missing. A moment where Pierce Brosnan actually sung.
Mars
Was Pierce Brosnan in that movie?
Sorry,
yes.
Was Pierce Brosnan in Mars?
Yes, remember it was kinda around the time he was James Bond, so of course he plays I think it's the head agent of CIA that remains calm and collected despite the fact that he constantly fucks up.
You know, I like to think of Mars Attack is what would happen if something like Smash Ultimate went incredibly wrong. Like, seriously, it feels like a crossover with how many big name actors are in that movie, and yet they all get wasted so badly.
Wait, what?
Oh, you haven't seen Mars Attacks?
Yeah, and I actually really loved it.
Wait.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Quirb, Civil War.
We are talking about the same Mars Attacks with Jack Nicholson in it, right?
As the President of the United States, yeah.
As well as also the head and owner of a casino, too.
Yeah.
Huh, I didn't know you liked that movie. I guess
that's the thing, Jova. When my country actually really loves it, so when I first come out the news with the fact that America apparently doesn't like it, it was more of a surprise than anything.
I think part of my issue is like, well, you have all these great actors, and it felt like they killed them off way too quickly, especially with Michael J. Fox, who you
That's
think is
kind of the joke in itself. Remember, Jova, it's supposed to be a complete satirization of what Independence Day was trying to be.
Huh. Well, maybe it'll be interesting to commentate on you. Maybe I'll be able to see it from different eyes. What did you think, Pedro?
I always saw Mars Attack as more of a black comedy there. So I'm willing to just roll with it.
Oh, yeah, definitely a black comedy, considering the director.
What did Mars
More like also what happens, considering how much the gore and everything is.
Motherfuckers.
Although you gotta love how in the end it's Tom Jones that saves the day.
I haven't seen Mars Attack.
Well, that's the perfect opportunity for commentary in general, Dweebs.
Yeah. Basically, Dweebs, what if I told you that there was a movie where Tom Jones saves the day from aliens?
Not this.
Sure.
Hold on, cutscene. This is actually one of the better cutscenes in the game that we're about to see.
Alright
Let me
then.
guess, we can extract you. Oh no, a missile towards helicopter.
Guess you're sitting next to Marcus.
Well,
Poor
when you put it
Marcus.
like that.
What's that?
That's Baird.
Is that a jetpack?
Basically, Teo, Baird is the tech guy of the group.
Cool.
Does he have a gun for a hand too?
Yeah, I didn't make it.
Damn.
Yeah, that's literally the only thing that was missing, the line he didn't.
Well, sometimes you just need a stare.
So close to retirement too.
Marcus is a disturbance in the force.
Yeah.
The manly force.
Yeah, I've seen. We've played Resident Evil. We know what's coming.
Yeah.
Oh shit, heavy monks.
You know what that means, kids.
Land here.
Oh shit.
Dead.
No wait, maybe he's okay. Okay, maybe not.
Hey, at least we didn't went to the Prometheus school or running away from things.
Thank God.
Okay, new plan. We survive the best we can.
I mean, yeah.
Pretty much what we've been doing all day.
Well, all day for the past.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, it's him. I guess at least for this game, the main villain. I actually know this guy.
he has quite the introduction.
Hello, I am Master Chief gone horribly wrong.
No. We're not at Halo 5 yet.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
you go. There you go. He can withstand the chainsaw like it's nothing. That's
Oh
how badass.
snap.
Yeah, someone clearly has played Resident Evil 3 in the team.
Yep.
No.
And two more take its place. Oh. So wait, Captain America.
And that's the start of a great friendship.
Wait, Captain America Winter Soldier was bullshit.
Dwebs,
That can be right.
Dwebs, it's the Hydra that grows heads, not just any. Hell, the Hydra is not even a snake. It's
A Hydra.
Although,
Yeah.
although according to the symbol, it's apparently an octopus.
The closest description is supposed to be a sea serpent.
It's funny though how apparently the Shield TV series pretty much shows it as a calamari.
we lost our leader, so now what?
Well, we need
Also,
a
can you
nice
tell me who the
up-and-coming
fuck was that
replacement
guy?
as the leader. I wonder.
Roger that.
Thing on promotion.
There's a courtyard at the other end of your building. That's your best bet.
Copy that. Well, we sure as shit can't stay here.
The mic's still on, you know.
Yeah, that's right, asshole. Question is, who are you?
Oh no.
Yeah, that's my
yes.
name. Ah!
Move. What was that? A berserker. She can hear
Dazzling.
us. She can smell us.
Oh shit, the berserk.
Oh.
Basically, it's
One
a
big
it's a giant muscular locust that kills you in one hit.
You know what that means, kids?
That is a locust. Now that is a locust that has eaten a lot of.
Well, a lot of beef and curry sauce.
Also, apparently,
This one. Oh.
not the red shirt. Jesus.
Oh my god. Control, this is Delta.
I don't know.
Berserker in the vicinity. Please advise.
Hold your fire, Delta.
Call
Yeah.
the police.
Affirmative control.
You've only got minutes of
Retreat would probably be a smart move for now.
Yeah, I was gonna say run.
We'll go. Delta out. Alright, guys, sit tight. That's what we're gonna do. Dom, let's go.
Right.
Okay, so join. So in the next part of We're All Fucked, and
Also, I checked the bear. His voice apparently by Fred at the shore. Never knew he could do that kind of range.
Yeah, I knew because I've heard him voice a penguin.